And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. Man, what a great weekend of just playoff basketball, especially hockey. Man, hockey was amazing. Can't believe Dallas moved on where it seemed like Colorado had the door shut. St. Louis was dominating that game, and then they lost it in the late third with the extra skater pulled goalie. Just amazing, amazing drama and everything. Hey, just makes you want to look forward to the second round. But let's get into today's action. Why am I on DraftKings today? Well, first off, quick thing. When it comes to Florida and Toronto, Florida right now, without a doubt, I think is solidly the best team all around. So, best penalty kill. Well, excuse me, second best penalty kill, because anytime Jersey had a penalty, had the power play, Carolina didn't give one up. So Carolina is literally the only team that has 100% penalty kill at the moment. Second best is Florida. So Toronto pretty much lived on the power play against Ottawa, and plus Ottawa made tons of defensive mistakes and lapses, which is not going to happen with Florida, because Florida is definitely the better defensive, and they're the more disciplined defensive team. Can they dirty it up with Bennett and Kachuk? Yeah, but what it is that it's just pretty much the case. I don't think they're going to get the power play chance. Yes, Florida, I think, is now, with the teams that are out of the playoffs, they're probably, I think, third in penalty minutes, because nobody's touching Winnipeg. Winnipeg is like double damn near everybody right now. Like, you got Florida who has 76 penalty minutes. Winnipeg is all the way up, already sniffing 160. So on top of that, I just really like the main opportunity here with being a good defensive team, and with his ability to gain even more minutes is the reason why he's on the cover sheet. The guy that I'm gunning for, and I'm just throwing in a few bets here and there, but they gotta be, if they're betting on FanDuel, then hey, go ahead and go for it. But right now, Gustav Forsling is the guy. I'm pretty much focusing on the defenseman. And what we have here, Gustav Forsling is over 1.5 plus 110. Why am I going for that? Well, it's pretty much this simple. With a healthy core of their 6 defensemen, obviously with Ekblad, like I said, I did bring up the fact that, and it hit too, Ekblad, that he didn't play in the series clincher in round 1. We were able to get Forsling, who was playing anywhere from 21 to 23 minutes during the series while Ekblad was there. The minute Ekblad got the suspension and Gustav Forsling got moved up to the top pair, because Forsling, I think if I'm not mistaken, was on the second pair, no power play minutes. Now, he didn't get any power play time in that last game, but he jumped up there with Seth Jones. Seth Jones is also up there manning the power play. Both of them were rocking 25 to 26 minutes. And I think the same thing goes here. So the more minutes, the better ability there is to have blocks. So we're taking advantage of Ekblad being gone, just like the last one. When I did hit Forsling a couple of days ago, well, it was a few days ago now. I'm just looking back in my notes because that'll be on the DraftKings side. Yes, Forsling was plus 200 for a point, plus 280 for an assist. So plus 110 for 1.5 blocks. He's plus 210 for a point, plus 290 for an assist on DraftKings. Why am I showing you on DraftKings? I'm focusing on Forsling, but guess what? Forsling does not, as of right now, I'm recording this, it's not even 10 a.m. yet, Eastern time. Forsling doesn't have a market, point-wise, assist or point, on FanDuel as I record this. He has a shot on goal. So all I'm saying is, I'm putting this episode out now. Be wary of it. They have until 8:10. Obviously, if you're playing fantasy, 8 o'clock. They have until 8:07, 8:09, 8:10 puck drop on Sportsbook for you to see if they actually add him on the point side market. But DraftKings already have him. So we're taking advantage of Ekblad. And then also what I wanted to take a look at, like I said, we want to take a look at the defenseman, right? So I'm also interested in Seth Jones. Now, Seth Jones has a market on FanDuel as well. So just to give you an odd shopping type comparison, Seth Jones for a point is basically the same thing. Sometimes on DraftKings you get the difference, and sometimes on FanDuel as well, when you get the single game parlay just for the, hey, get a point. Then when you have the hook, sometimes it adds. Sometimes when you have the hook, sometimes it adds points for the for the bet itself. So if we go to Florida right here, his points, obviously just to get a point, and obviously you can parlay these. Seth Jones for a point plus 125. If you go here for just a straight up points over under with the hook, Seth Jones plus 120. So plus 125 in my notes on FanDuel, it's plus 126. So with the hook, you lose a few points. So obviously take the ones that are obviously able to parlay. Like I said, both of their minutes jump up. Forsling and Seth Jones without Ekblad are both looking at 25 and above, maybe even 27 minutes in this series. Plus, I think it's more like 26, 27. Why? Because Florida has been rested. I think they had about 4, maybe even 5 days of rest. I think it's 4 days of rest. Because they had the entire weekend, and I think they finished their series, I think it was Wednesday night. So 4 or 5 days, whatever the case is. They had time to go home, and then what? If anything, they probably had a travel day sometime over the weekend. I don't know exactly when they went up to Toronto, but they definitely had time to rest and settle in. So if you got fresh legs, I think you're looking at 26, 27 minutes, which helps Forsling gets those blocks up there. Also, on the assist side, on DK and FanDuel, not a ginormous difference, but a subtle difference. So if you go assist that you can single game parlay, Seth Jones is looking at odds of plus 150. Oh, those moved. On my notes, he's plus 160 on DK. Well, this is the one that you can single game parlay. The over under with the hook, Seth Jones. Okay, that's the one I have, plus 160. So the one with the hook on the assist is the one that you want, plus 160. On FanDuel, plus 176. Slight difference, not a major difference like it was last week, because there was days where there was a high discrepancy in value. But I'm pretty sure you'll be fine with Forsling 290, 200. Remember last week when we had Forsling and I said he was going to get some points, and he ended up getting the assist. He also ended up getting the point. It was plus 200, plus 280. Now we're looking at basically Forsling plus 110, plus 110 on the blocks, plus 210 now, and then plus 290. So basically gained 10 points on both of those stats that we hit a few days ago. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I should be able to find that bet. Today is 5/5. That was on 4/30. So yeah, basically 5 days they've had to rest since that day. We didn't hit the Seth Jones part, but Forsling came through for the point and the assist. Obviously, once he gets the assist, that's a point. And that was also the game that we hit Ben, Kachuk, Barkov, Reinhardt with the power plays, and then the late empty nets. And then also, the power plays are about the same. When I looked at it, Barkov, Reinhardt, Kachuk are the same on FanDuel and DraftKings. There's only a slight difference on the power play with these guys here. On the power play on the Florida side, Seth Jones is the same. Verhaeghe is 380 on DK. It's 400 on FanDuel. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember Bennett having a market on FanDuel as of yet. They could add him, but once again, he's not on the top power play. With the morning skate, though, it does help to know that not only is, somebody like Gustav Forsling on the penalty kill, so he can get the blocks killing the penalty as well, because it's a very aggressive and top penalty kill, one of the best power plays in the league in Toronto. But Forsling also they're running a 2 defenseman second unit. So it's Forsling and Nate Schmidt with Marchand, Bennett, and Evan Rodriguez. But obviously, just to say that, expect Forsling to play a lot of minutes. Forsling is normally not on the power play at all, but they do have him lined up with Nate Schmidt, and that second power play has been productive. So definitely, without a doubt, Gustav Forsling is definitely what we are focusing on today. If anything else happens, I might be able to do a part 2 video, but besides power play props on, like I said, Toronto, subpar penalty kill, I like, the power play odds, but Gustav Forsling is who I'm focusing on today. Secondarily is Seth Jones. Secondarily, and then thirdly, it will be the power play for Florida. On the Toronto side, I mean, it is viable that anything at the top. I mean, you have to balance it around the top two. It has to be. Can you get production from those bottom lines? Yeah, you can. But guess what? Those bottom lines are still going to run into Lundell, Luosterainen, and Marchand. Are we expecting them to have offensive outbursts like they did in the game clinching game against Tampa Bay? No, but Lundell, Luosterainen are good defense, are pretty good defensively. Like I said, Lundell is Barkov Jr. We have now Marchand solidifying that line. So literally now you could kind of say they have three good defensive line, even though the Sam Bennett Kachuk line is a pretty tough and gritty line. They can get up and down the ice, but playoff wise, you definitely, without a doubt, you literally have three solid defensive lines. This is why I'm leaning more on Florida props than Toronto props. But if that is all, once again, keep an eye out on the FanDuel markets for Gustav Forsling points and assists. Like I said, as I'm doing this before 10 a.m., nothing has popped up yet for him. So good luck tonight. This is what I have for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Good luck tonight, and welcome to the second round of the NHL playoffs. This is your boy Grade A Fantasy with another episode of Grade A Power Plays, and I'm signing off.